Hey guys, it's Cal from Nerdy Weasel. Today we're doing something a little bit differently. We're going to be doing an installation video regarding Skyrim Redone and making it compatible with Hoth Troopers 44's Immersive Armors and Immersive Weapons. So you may be asking, why is this necessary? Well, Skyrim Redone changes a lot of the values for armors and weapons. And with the newest version of Immersive Armors, version 7, it's not supported. Now, Gopher did a great video of this a couple years back regarding how to do it involving proccers and reproccers and the correct way of doing it. Well, it's become a little outdated. Some of the sites he used or some of the mods that he used aren't really applicable anymore. So we're going to go through and show you what you need and show you how to implement it all using the Nexus Mod Manager. So let's take a moment to talk about prerequisites. First thing off, you're going to need SKSE. And you can refer to my new video, SKSE installation quick and dirty. And I'll go over that real quick and show you how to implement all this stuff, getting the shortcuts and all that in that video. You're also going to need Immersive Armors version 7, Immersive Weapons, and Weapons and Armor Fixes WAFR, W-A-F-R. So, a quick note about WAFR. And here's the thing. I'm going to pull this up so you can take a look at it. And during testing, I ran it without WAFR, Weapons and Armor Fixes Remade. And it didn't seem to have any effect on the game. Reading the files, it was basically tweaks to statistics. Now, there were no major fixes, but I do have a few, caveats about using this. It does require Dawnguard. The Dragonboard add-on requires Dragonboard, and complete versions have both. And he has multiple files. I'll go over those real quick. And it recommends the unofficial Skyrim patch. It's not required, but strongly recommended because it changes more statistics in that as well. So we'll go over this real quick. In his files section, it has the complete version that requires Dawnguard and Dragonborn and includes all the fixes for those. It does not include any of the other optional files. And then you got Complete Plus, faster arrows will be in there, true Orcus and Daedric weapons. Okay, that's pretty good. Now it gets down to the optional files. If you want to have one that's just vanilla. If you don't have Dragonborn and Dawnguard, there's your vanilla version. If you just have Dawnguard, there's the one for that. If you just have Dragonborn, there's the one for that. So, there's more caveats with that. I didn't see any notice in gameplay, but we're going to include it because, the Skyrim Compatibility and Reproccer patches by Zathra recommends having it, and they do list it in their options menu, which we'll go over later. So we're going to include all of those, and I'm going to assume you've already downloaded them and all that stuff, and we'll go directly to our Nexus Mod Manager and discuss for a moment load order. It doesn't really matter what order you download them or activate them in the Nexus Mod Manager, but let's just go over boss real fast. I don't want that. I want that. I ran the boss log already. And you'll see that weapon armor fixes are actually quite high. You would think that a mod that changes the statistics would be farther down, but it's not. They want it up high. So you can see it's right there. And then you go back over there, and then it talks about Hoth armor compilations and immersive weapons. We got those, armors, compilations, and weapons. So those are all in place. Now there's a second ESP that Immersive Armor puts in. It's called Hoth Trooper 44 Armor Extra ESP. And when you look at it, it's extra textures for Immersive Armors. Okay. So to me, that would read extra textures for this armor compilation. Zathra's file and description lists that they want extra above it. It doesn't make a difference. I've tested it out both ways. It doesn't make a difference. I just think it makes more sense to have it underneath the compilation, which is a secondary ESP for. So there's that. So Now that we've got that all out of the way, we can move on to the installation of the required mods that are specific for SkyRe. So the 4 things we're going to need is Skyrim Community Uncapper by Alyss, Tando's Skyrim Redone, the Reproccer already is an automated SkyRe patch generator by Tando, so they kind of work in tandem. And finally, we'll need SkyRe Compatibility and Reproccer patches by Zathra. So let's go over to our mod manager. I've downloaded all these. I'll show you which ones we need, but you can see it in the mod manager right over here. And you can see them already in the mods. But let's go ahead and show you what we'll need to do step by step. You can see the Reproccer right there, SkyRe Compatible, and there's Tando's Skyrim Main, and the Uncapper. Now, as you can see, we already have Immersive Weapons, and if we go farther down, there is Immersive Armors version 7.1. So you can see they're already installed. So we'll just minimize that, and we'll go to the internet, and we'll pull up the Nexus mod page, and you can see the first one we get is the Skyrim Community Uncapper by Alyss. Now you can go ahead and download with the manager and it'll work just fine, and I'll explain why. In original Gopher's videos, he had a little problem. He had to go in and change things and include the ini or repackage the mod to work. So they've changed it. You can see it is already packaged up in the appropriate manner. And there it is right there. So if you go back and back and back, he had you put in a data folder and then an SKSE folder and a plugins folder and then drop these files inside of it. Well, you don't need to do that anymore, fortunately. So we can just toss it. Say goodbye. There it is. So first thing we'll do is go ahead and activate that. And that is right up here. Hit that, and it's a quick installation, and it's successfully downloaded. So we'll go back to the internet, Nexus Mod Manager, and the next one we need to do is Tando's Skyrim Redone. Now, you can see here, SkyRe has everything you need in one easy file manager. So it is a large file, 94,000 kilobytes. It's been downloaded a lot, so it's a popular mod. And we're going to make it so it's up to date with everything new. So let's go back to the mod manager. And we will install that and go through the menu with you. So let's install it. As it takes its time doing so, we will talk about the menu system. Now, one of the reasons why we don't need to do an ini file anymore using the Uncapper is that the menu for Tando's Skyrim Redone now has it in it, and we'll show that to you. So you can see right here, we'll just click to highlight it, custom ini file for Alyss's Skyrim Community Uncapper. Okay, grants additional perks every 5 levels, blah, blah, blah. So we will hit that. That's what we need first. So the main ones we go through are the main file, changes to perks and everything related to perks, which is a lot, and it is. It's amazing how big the skill menus are now. So then we go to the next one, and we decide if we need that. Changes to races, racial abilities, and related loading screens. It changes some of the skills and abilities that are inherent to the different races. I went ahead and chose that, so there we go. So the standing stones, it changes the standing stones and related loading screens. Okay, well, I didn't really want to change the standing stones, so I left that blank, but you could click it if you like. The next one has to do with combat. Changes that make combat faster paced and more realistic. Stamina-dependent speed, damage, and blocking. Direct hit debuffs and stagger, heavy armor slowdown, and more, and it is extensive. It will change a lot of how you play the game. So trust me when I say be ready for it, but it is essential to the game. It definitely will change things. So next up is the enemy AI. They're smarter. Let's just put it that way. They're smarter, and they aren't just standing around waiting to get bashed upside the head. Okay, so we're going to need that. Enemy scaling. Now, Changes to enemy scaling, spell and perk distribution, resistances, and weaknesses. It makes the enemy a little tougher. So we need that. It goes right along with combat and enemy eye. The three are kind of together. Now, changes to encounter zones. Minimum levels for each area. Now, what that means is that you will walk into a dungeon. And if you are not the appropriate level for that dungeon, it's not going to scale the game down like the vanilla version did, so you can fight it. It will basically have the same level of enemies as Skyrim Redone decides it should, and you will probably get your bum kicked if you are not the appropriate level. Now, being that I am primarily a video maker, I want to be able to go where I want and have good videos. That means lots of combat, lots of places to see. I left that off. Okay. We talked about the custom ini file. We need that. And finally, SkyRe Survivalism. Now, this is very important. Adds perk support for Chesko's Frostfall 2.0 plus to the new Wayfarer tree. And that's a new skill tree that you'll find in the menu. Will support Last Seed once released. Last Seed ain't coming, folks. Chesko's not doing it, so don't worry about it. Do not use without Frostfall. If you don't have Frostfall, and those who've watched my playthroughs know I use it, if you have it, great. It's a great mod. It is a great way to immerse yourself in the wilderness of Skyrim. If you don't have it, don't click this. Simple as that. I have it, we click it, and we finish it. It's installing all the scripts, and it's going to ask you a few things. We want to change the SKSE? Yes. We want to change. Yes to all. And we're done. Just like that. So, what's next on our list? It is going to be the Reproccer. Now, this is also done by Tando, and you can see it right. Whoop, there it is. And it's going to change the way the weapons are calculated. And here we are. We go to the Reproccer, and you can see once again it is one file. Just go ahead and download it with the manager. Let the manager handle it all. Because the Skyrim Redone ups the damage and ups the defense for certain weapons and armors, basically across the board, it needs to be able to reinitialize all the stats for that. And the Reproccer does that. So we're going to go ahead and install that. Just like that. And it's done. Now, you're not done yet. We're going to click OK. We're going to minimize that. And then we're going to go into our file system, and we are going to go into Skyrim, Data. I think I clicked the wrong things. Skyrim? Nope. Going the wrong way. Reproccer patches is what we're looking for. I don't know why I thought. Anyways. Reproccer patches. There it is. Time to Reproccer. And we're looking for this one right here. It's an executable jar. This is a Java format. If you refer back to Gopher's original video, he'll explain why you need that. So this is an executable file. It's going to open up a little window. Let's see that window. There it is. Okay. So you could change all these settings if you want to. We don't need to. Okay. We're going to hit patch. And it's going to run BOSS for us. And it's going to be implementing all these files. Requires the mod and the proper order. Okay. Got it. So we have that. Now you go into Files and Block List. The block list is here. In Gopher's video, it tells you to implement stuff into the block list. That's not necessary for this. So just skip that altogether. But keep this file open. We're going to come back to this. So here we go. So we go back into our mods, go to plugins, and you will see here's all the Skyrim Redone stuff. Okay, well that doesn't seem right. So let's run BOSS and see what the load order should be. So run it. And there it is. Now here where we start to run into some problems. So we have summary, okay, plugins, SKE, LSN Capper, we got those. Recognize plugins. Okay, we're going to go through and reorder all this stuff, and we'll go through each one in turn. But you can see it's not quite how it should be. So where does Skyrim Redone belong? So let's minimize this further so we can have two windows open at the same time. Read one and adjust one. There we go. We can see and adjust both of these. So we'll go up and let's see. We'll start up here because we know this has been changed. Hoth Trooper 44 is right there. Okay. So the armor is in the right place. It's right below cloak, so we're good there. Now we're looking for Skyrim main to go underneath the bandoliers. Okay, well that's not where that is. We need to change all these. So we will put that like that. And we will go main underneath the bandolier. Now if your boss is working correctly, and mine doesn't seem to like to work very often, you have to go through and do this. But it's a good thing to know where everything is. So main, and then combat, enemy AI, enemy scaling, a little more, survivalism, okay, and then you notice it stops because boss wants the Skyrim races, Skyrim Redone races above the Reproccer. Okay, everything else looks good. I mean, you know, the rest of my mods are in the correct order. Now, go over to unrecognized mods. Hoth Trooper 44, Armor Extra ESP. We have to keep an eye on this one because it's not going to want to stay where we put it. And you'll see why later. But it's in the right place right now. It's right underneath Armor Compilation. Okay. So, we can go ahead and do this. Go. So go to SkyRe Compatibility. Look at it right there. SkyRe Compatibility and Reproccer patches by Zathra. Same thing. One file. Hit it with the download manager. Done and over. I want to take a second to remind you, now that this is the last one we're saying, read all your files. Read these readmes, if it will open. Anyways, read the readmes, read the changes, read the descriptions of all this stuff. Very important. Know your mods and know what it does and know what it doesn't do. And look for compatibility issues. A lot of these authors will tell you exactly what you need, what to do, but some of them take a little bit of deciphering to get it done. So just keep that in mind. But let's go back to Nexus Mod Manager. Go to our mods. And there's one last step to do. And this is the Skyrim Compatibility and Reproccer patches. What this is going to do is take all those armors that Hoth Trooper 44 added in the last month or so to the Procker list. So we're going to go ahead and install that. All right, now this is where it gets interesting. You can see, I'll try and move this around so we can actually read this thing. There we go. So what we have here is the SkyRe repatch. We need that. Okay. All right. And then you have, we can go through this, weapons, armor, fixes, remade, unique SkyRe repatch. Okay. Well, we don't have uniques. Okay, this is what this is doing. This lists all the different mods you can possibly have. Okay? And you just go through and you click them. Click what you have. Okay? So, if you look at Immersive Armors 7, that's what we're looking for right there. Skyrim repatch contains 2 SP, a pre and post patch, weapons, and fixes armor required. Well, that's right there. Okay, we can turn that off then. So, we're looking for the one with this one. Weapons and armors fixes remade, Immersive 7. Immersive Armors 7, Immersive Weapons, Skyrim patch contains all this stuff here. Okay, armor fixes. Immersive Weapons original mod required for meshes and textures. Okay, that's what we need. But if you had, let's say, a Midian Skyforge Steel, you could click that. If you had this version, Immersive 7 Weapons, unique, SkyRe patch and all this stuff, you'd click that, right? And you can go through and click all the different weapon mods you have. Pretty good, huh? So what we have is, what I have rather, is I need the SkyRe patch. I need Immersive Armors 7, Immersive Weapons, and that has everything I need. So I want that one, okay? But we're not done. I want you to go through all of these things, and if you think that you'll want this in the future, keep this in mind, what's on this list, okay? These are all additional weapons. Daedric Dawnbreakers, in some Dave weapons, okay? If you have any of these, make sure you click them because it will rescale the damage that it does, okay? Here's some more stuff. This is the creative character creation overhaul for the Standing Stones module. This is different mods you can add, but make sure you click them, okay? And then acknowledge. This will finalize and install the stats.xml and all README files. Thanks for using SkyRe Compatibility and Reproccer patches. Good. Okay. That's what we need. Finish. We're going to hit yes to all. We're done with that. And now we go back. Okay. Now this is very important. This is the important part of this. So, up, the immersive weapons drop down again. Okay. So, we will move it back up to where we thought it should be, which was, where's my boss? Okay. There it is. Where did it belong? It belonged underneath the cloaks. Okay, so we're going to move that back up. Where's my cloaks? There it is. Immersive weapons. Oh, I got to double check that. Put them along there. Immersive weapons right along with the armor compilation. So we were right. So let's move that back up to right along with that. So it's back in the right spot. Now, here's the most important thing. You'll see you have two new files. You have a pre-procker and a post-procker. You put the pre right before the reprocker. So you have a pre-reprocker, the reprocker, and now a post-reprocker. Did you catch all that? Right? So, it's in the correct order. Now, go and close this boss log. And we are going to go back to the reprocker. Okay? And there it is. We're going to run this reprocker one more time. Patch. It's going to run boss again. And that's fine. We're going to be running boss a lot for this. And we're done. Sort of. Come on. Come on. There we go. Don't close that, just minimize it. Don't close this, just minimize that. Alright? Now, I want you to go back to your mods. And I want you to close your game. Or just close this all together. Close that. Now I want you to go and start up your game. And we're going to take a little break while I do that, and I will join you back in game, and we'll show you what kind of happened. So here we are in game. You can see I'm in Riften, but that's irrelevant. This is a little preview of the 1080p video. We're going to try this on all of the new playthroughs, but, well, quality's pretty good, so let's go ahead and open up our inventory. And you can see I have some stuff. And you remember, all these weapons are appropriately scaled now. 28 for the simple broadsword. The Orcish Mace does a lot. And let's go to armors. Okay. I happen to have a few things here. You know, obviously what I'm wearing is, I don't think they would ever have a helm at 62, so I think it's working. And we go down to the Highwayman Mail. Okay. 63. This is a low to mid-level light armor. 63. That's a lot more than leather armor. Okay. leather armor helmet, so that's about right. Compare that to a steel plate heavy hood, 62. Okay, so it looks like everything worked. You know, you go down to the Nord Mail, and this is 113. I think this is right. I think we got it just about right. Here's a shield that I picked up. Heavy armor, basic shield. This is about as basic as you get right here. And then, of course, that Blades light shield that I picked up. Nice piece of equipment. 62. So I think it's all working. I mean, let's go and check. Inigo, come here, Inigo.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see what you got here. I want to trade some stuff with you. What have you got going on in here? So I know he's got some basic stuff here. You got steel buckler. That's a new piece of equipment right there. 44. Okay, that's a pretty good shield. And then steel armor. So it's been re-upped. I mean, look at that steel armor. It was never 105 before. So what it did was it changed all the stats. Okay, Inigo came with a bunch of ebony arrows. Okay, if you compare to what I have, I think I just have some iron arrows, 12. Okay, that's more than an iron arrow ever did in the plain game. It was like what, 8, 10? Okay, so you can see ebony arrow 27. All right, there we go. Go back and just check his ebony short bow 51. That's pretty good. So what it did was it recalculated all the stats. So we are now done in game, just like that. So we will meet you back at the desktop in 1 minute. So here we are back at the desktop. So we're going to open BOSS and just have it ready to run. And we're going to open the Nexus Mod Manager. And we're going to have BOSS ready to run just in case there's any issues. So let's open this up a little more so we can see it. So plugins. Okay, we're going to look down. See, it moved it again. So what we need to do is put it back up. Once you play the game, it will move stuff around. So we'll put it back where it belongs. Come here, you little sucker. There you go. Okay, it is back to where it belongs. Here's an important point. This list wasn't that long before. It has now taken all of your patches, all of your ESPs, and made them essential. Okay, did you get that? Catch all that? So if you look, the essential ESPs for this or that, essential for that, okay, those are all essential. But now, what you have is a whole bunch of new ones. So whenever you add in a new mod, whenever you take away a new mod, or take away an old mod, you're going to need to run the Reproccer. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. So go back, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim, Data, Reproccer, Patches. There they are. And there's your Reproccer. So just remember, every time you add a new mod or take away a new mod, we want the Reproccer to run with the pre and post Reproccers in place. That way everything will work. If you don't continually run the Reproccer now, you could have problems because you really don't know what it likes and what it doesn't. Okay? Why it decided to add Rangers Valley Lodge to the list of essentials? I don't know. It did. It didn't care about ELFX. Didn't care about convenient horses. But for whatever reason, it cared about this. And it cared about realistic needs and diseases. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Things will change. And you don't know what the Reproccer likes and what the Reproccer doesn't like. So always run that. So, we are good. Everything is in its right place. Everything corresponds with what BOSS thinks it should be. Because we only had to move one. I'm just going by memory what all this says. But the game now runs. The game now has all of the stats that you need to run Immersive Armors version 7 with Immersive Weapons and Skyrim Redone, all working in harmony. So, I think we're done. And I believe we are. So, once again, this is Cal from Dirty Weasel. Enjoy the new modifications. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have suggestions for other things you want me to cover, I will certainly do so. And if I find that there's stuff out there that I want to make a tutorial video of, I will do so. So once again, enjoy Skyrim Redone. It is well worth the mod. It is well worth taking the time that we just spent to get it working with two of the other best mods out there, which is Immersive Weapons and Immersive Armors. So, have a good time playing Skyrim.